Hello to you. Hope you're having a great day today. I'm Christina Munoz, along with, I'm going to try to say this right and get it right, Dr. Josiah Onyenikwe.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, from now on you'll be Dr. O,
By
which
me.
I think you're most well known around here. But you are a family practice doctor here,
Yes, ma'am.
and we thank you very much for joining us today. You doing good?
Yes, ma'am. Can't
Okay.
complain.
You know, we're doing the social distancing, the masking, and then this is our world. This is what we're doing. So
Yeah, new world, new
that's
times.
right. But we are here to talk all about back to school and just this season that we're in. A lot of parents just have a lot of questions and kind of what's the right thing to do and taking care of their kids. And I'm a parent of two little, I guess they're 8 and 11, not super little anymore, but it's scary knowing what to do with our kids, especially a lot of us haven't been out a lot since March. So kind of want to start there. What's some just basic recommendations for the parents that are watching when it comes to talking to your kids in this COVID world that we're living?
Okay. Well, the biggest thing I think is as we're trying to, people are just trying to get back to normalcy. It's pretty much just taking the precautions for your kids with the COVID, which is just having talks with them about the importance of wearing a mask, about not trying to be playful or not wearing it the proper way. And then just biggest thing is sanitizing. Just basically, you pick them up from school, sanitize them. If you when they're going to school, make sure they're sanitary, as well as just having the whole you can say the gel or the spray that they have
Sure.
and just wiping them down when they get from school. Just making sure afterwards that they take a shower before they do anything in the house, just to protect them and also give you a little bit of ease of mind that you're actually doing everything that you can to protect your kids and your family from the COVID-19 virus. So that's, I would say, is the biggest thing that would do.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just getting back to the regular thrills of having your kids going to school.
Yay, their men are so excited. So.
Yeah, and that's basically making sure that they're having all their proper checkups and physical exams that they're supposed to have during the school year, and as well as vaccinations, I would say.
So that's a great point. I mean, yes, we're all worried about COVID, but really in a normal world, if you will, these well baby, and now we call them well kid checks that you get every year. Talk about why that's important and why it's still important to be doing those.
Because a lot, I know, and I think a lot of things in the U.S. have been kind of pushed back due to COVID-19, where it's a lot of physicians, whether it's here or even the ER, we're getting bombarded with people holding back of coming to their doctors because they're scared of the COVID-19, and then we end up finding things that have now gotten worse because they've been holding from going to the doctors. And that's the same thing for kids. Around this time, it's good to get immunizations and get those things because kids' immune systems are not that great, so we try to build it up. And that's the biggest thing about vaccinations, why we push vaccinations, to build up their immune system. And then on top of that, other than that, just the well child checkups are good because not only are physicians able to educate the parents, which is the big thing of how you are supposed to prepare. You have anticipatory guidelines. So every kid, depending on their age, has guidelines where we're like, okay, are they eating properly? Because you don't want your kid to be stunted because they're not getting the proper nutrition. Are they bathing properly? Are they brushing their teeth properly? Things like that are just guidelines we give for every, depending on their age, that make sure that the kid's properly growing right and not malnourished or having any things or problems while they grow up. So coming to have those well child checkups are important for not only for the kid but also for the parent to educate them sometimes.
Yeah, it's such great advice because you could forget about some of those things and they could really lead to serious issues if they go undetected.
Yes, they can.
And vaccines. So if your well baby check happened to be in the last 5 months and maybe you didn't go, you've got to go back and get those in.
Yes, you definitely want to get those vaccinations because you're definitely going to have to deal with a little bit of catch-up. And I think a lot of people are worried, oh, they're going to give all these vaccinations to my baby at once. I think if you discuss with them, they're not going to do that. They're just, they have to do the proper things, whereas you have vaccinations that come at certain months where they give them at this time, and then they say 3 months later, you may have to come and get this one, and then 3 months later, you have to come and get this one, or 2 months later,
that
or
way
1
it's
month
safe.
later. So it's still safe for the kid. And so that's the biggest things, and and they just also should be well informed that if you get a vaccination, if your kid has a fever, the first thing I don't want them to think is this is COVID.
COVID, right?
They should understand that with a vaccination, your immune system's response is to have a fever sometimes. That's why we always say,
okay.
give them Tylenol.
Right.
And so that's okay. Just to monitor them, give them Tylenol, and just go from there.
Now, if it lasts for a
long time, it still may not be COVID because what we've seen now, whether it's here or even in the ER where I work, is and some of my friends and colleagues that I know around the nation is we're starting to see some flu that have started early a little bit.
We're heading into flu season.
So we're heading into flu season. So it's not a bad idea to actually talk to your doctor about actually getting the flu vaccine if they are available, or at least everybody's thinking COVID.
Right.
It may actually be the flu that they actually may need to get tested for as well.
Wow, so really to stay on top of it, take those temps, and then be smart about when to take them in and when to treat at home.
Yes, ma'am.
All of that is always hard as a parent, but it's all pretty much the same, really, in this world. Let's talk about that basic of hand washing and the importance of teaching or communicating. And I know we always say more is caught than taught. So I guess the parents need to be really setting a good example with that.
Yes, ma'am. And that's just basically the principles of hand washing. I think it's I forgot the song that we usually have to sing.
Row, row, row your boat, or ABCs twice, I think.
Yeah, so it should be about a good, I would say hand washing should be a good about 2 to 3 minutes where you're just actually getting in between the digits and making sure that everything's clean, and then just cleaning it with water and then drying them off is a good method to make sure that you're actually properly cleaning. Because if you're just putting the soap and then doing it 5 seconds and you're done, you really didn't wash your hands.
Kind of a waste of time and energy.
Yeah.
All right, parents, so that's a call out to all of us to be sure we're doing our hands that well as our kids. Finally, I also want to kind of touch on this balance between letting your kids know that this is serious and to take it serious and not to instill fear in them. And maybe it depends on the kid, kind of have to know how they're going to receive that.
Yeah, they should definitely know their kid. If the kid's an anxious one, if your kid's an anxious one, you just got to teach them the importance of put on a mask. And if they're anxious one, they're probably going to be putting it on anyway already. But if they're not, just you want to probably definitely teach them just basically the importance of just sanitizing themselves and making sure that they're being clean. But you don't want to tell them if they don't sanitize, these things can happen, and put that fear on them of the things that adults know are the complications of not sanitizing. Just properly try to educate them about the importance of sanitizing. That enough will at least keep them clean, because most kids are playing around and doing anything. So just a proper way of teaching them how to sanitize is good enough to actually do a lot more justice than we know.
And really, the parents and the example we set can really help. Wear the mask, social distance.
Because every kid follows their parents.
Yeah, whether we like it or not.
They usually are a copy of their parent, one way or another. So
if we can just keep sticking to those basics, keep everybody as healthy as possible, and hey, maybe have a little fun getting back to school.
Yeah. You can always get your kid and make them a cool face mask.
There you go. Or your favorite characters. Or
hey, if they like SpongeBob, make them a SpongeBob.
See, you can have some fun with it.
Make them a Powder Puff. Let them be cool while they go to school.
I love it. I think that could be our new slogan. I love it very, very much. Well, this has been wonderful advice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. O.
No problem.
Here at Celine. And we just thank you for your time. And of course, if you have any other questions, you can always reach out. And we thank you for watching.
Thank you.